So I guess I'm just gonna head all the way to the bottom and see if I can find some other things.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the director being attacked? Let's see. I guess short recap for...
I believe this red presence is some rival entity.
Oh.
Or some invasive force.
Oh, can't do that. Oh.
Yeah, you can burn it off of, but... Oh!
Ah.
That was enough. I didn't even realize that... Ooh.
Come in, Price. This is Marshall. We need...
She's in trouble. I need to reach her.
So that might be how I get into the bonus mission area.
Mm-hmm. This is a mess.
Let's see. Yep. That's cover's not worth using.
Oh, they've cordoned off some of these storage areas. I like it how at least in the dark you can tell when they have you in their sights. Oh, you have to be careful, but there's a lot of health down there.
Okay. Oh, we're not done yet.
Oh, yep. Couple more. So is this parapsychology?
Did I get him?
I think
kinda
that's what
knocked
this
him over.
wing was.
I think there's... No. I don't know if there's anything left.
So what are these rooms? Can you take a look at them? Ooh. Because they said that this was parapsychology. Oh, who's that? Someone who's been taken over by the...
Maybe. There's a lot of TVs with static.
What happens if you shoot him?
I can't.
Ah, he's immune.
Bulletproof.
Anything any notices? Could you
Well,
look?
there's this here. Oh, there's another thing.
Details, AWE 18. Transcript of a call to the California State Emergency Services. Dispatcher. 911, what's your emergency? Voice. Hello? Hello? I'm here. Can you hear me? I can hear you, ma'am. Where are you? I'm, inside the wires. I'm lost. Ma'am, have you been drinking tonight? I feel like I'm stretching through the wire towards you. Don't hang up. I might go if you hang up. Go where, ma'am? Go. Gone. Away. Okay, can you describe your surroundings? Shh. Ma'am. Hello, ma'am. No, dispatcher attempted to call the number back, but it was no longer in service. Oh, so someone had called through a phone and that looks like a lady.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been studying people that had fallen to other objects of power?
Yeah, or
controlled by it?
paranormal events.
Well, that's probably when they were training people with the targets.
Yep.
Astral Exhibition?
Oh, hey.
The astral plane. Similar to an iceberg, what you see is not what you always get. Regardless, this place is vitally important to the Bureau. Most information on the astral plane is classified, but we can talk in broad strokes, keeping in mind that these are staggeringly complex systems, and simplification does them no justice. Now, the white non-space, the ever-present inverted Black Pyramid. The board, all linked. Intrinsically tied to the oldest house, tied to the director, the process of choosing a director, tied to all objects of power in terms of who controls them. Yes.
We don't have any other time-sensitive missions. Dang.
Anything around here?
Yes and no. Let's see. I wanted to check some of these before we got too far.
Now, those plants, I don't know if they resemble anything I've seen before.
These things? Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Actually.
If they've started finding things from other planes.
Seems like a bad idea. Well. Yeah.
That looks like a model.
This looks like an actual other dimension or something.
Or footage that they were able to get of someone going into
the astral plane.
Astral plane. Yep. Oh.
That's not it. Astral Exhibition.
Okay. Astral plane exhibition. The Astral Exhibition was originally built for the astronauts. That's interesting. The astronauts to use as a training location, a place to grow accustomed to the sights and sounds of the astral plane before diving into the real thing. We could have done a better job with it, but Blank was being stingy with the budget. However, once we discovered the blanks, we decided to repurpose the space. Similar to how zoos open familiar surroundings will affect the well-being of their animals, we hope to observe the blank's behavior in an environment similar to its home dimension. So far, it just breaks everything we put in with it. But Rome wasn't built in a day. Wait, they captured something? Refer to file 3/19/3811 for the full report. Addendum. New naming conventions have been established for the astral entity, now known as Astral Spike. Outdated terms in this report have been redacted. So it was newly called the Astral Spike. The entity.
An early hypothesis was that the mindscape of the astral plane is subjective. But that was fast proven wrong. It's an actual place, not a construct of the mind, even though it is with our minds that we enter and experience it. But then one could argue that that's the case with all reality. We've been able to record footage of the astral plane by monitoring the brain activity of those experiencing it. That is the only concrete material that has come out of the astral plane expeditions. Apart from one shocking exception. In the astral plane footage, we're always in the vicinity of the pyramid. We've concluded that this, not the entire plane, is what the board controls. We have glimpsed movement, native species, always in the distance, and yet contact was made. We don't have footage of this, a technical malfunction, but when one of our astronauts returned, a brain cloud, an astral fugue, had hitchhiked a ride in his head. It ruptured out, killing the subject in question. It's a relentless predator, pursuing thoughts, minds, lethal to those the entity feeds on. Proper containment protocols are to be observed when dealing with it.
Is it still being held, or did it break out?
It's probably around. I bet we fight it.
But they said it was a predator that sought out minds.
I bet.
Oh, that's it.
I can't believe they keep that thing here.
I bet we fight it.
Did you undo the seal?
Doing so right now. Up, jerk.
What if you let it out that door? Wander. Okay, it's not. It actually prefers to come for you. It'd be terrible if you let it out into the facility and that's it. The world is doomed. But I suppose it would have still been stuck in the building. What's this?
Not enough power. Oh.
Oh, where do you need to put that power cube? Up there? Oh, do you need to lure it back into containment? Yeah, see? Oh, is there a door? Nice. Oh, but you can't close it. Okay, are you fast enough?
I'm not sure if I want to contain it, though.
Where did that door lead?
What
I don't
was
know.
the Bureau doing with that thing?
I honestly don't know.
Someone answer, damn it! We need backup down here.
Marshall, are you still there?
Shit. We're so close. We need to hurry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It would have been interesting to see where the door led, but where would it have gone to? Whoop. You might be able to go back and release it.
Might be able to.
Oh, so they're floating in the chairs.
Yep. Here's something else that I do not like.
A raspy breathing, yeah.
Holy
There's
crap.
a ton of guys up here.
So there are.
Then again, I think this is when you meet Marshall.
They're probably... They're probably around the side or something.
Oh, bomb. Grenades. 2 grenades. I'm surprised they don't do more damage to you.
They weren't near me. Let's see. Don't have a lot of other oomph.
Well, at this point, you only have, what, 2 guys left? There might be more around the corner, but who knows? Ah, that's one of the soldiers. With essentially 2 health bars. Ooh. All the grenades.
It's very loud. I want to turn down the sound effects in this game. It's a lot of gun noises.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna turn it down just by a bit.
Yep.
Because, yeah, I noticed that I'm hearing mostly gun noises and less you, and I'm like, not sure if that's what I want to be hearing. Or was that just some woman just floating in the air? Oh, yeah. What's up? Okay.
If anyone is listening, we've encountered heavy resistance. We've fallen back to the luck department. All agents are ordered to converge here.
Okay, so Shell's not feeling good, so I'm gonna read some lore. Let's see. Let's see what lore I have. Collectibles. Research record, so Hush Cluster, sorry, not Hush, Hiss. It's all Hiss. I wonder if we find anything other than the Hiss at some point. So, the merry-go-round horse. Oops, 16KE. Object should be kept in a confined space when unbound. Fiberglass horse once used as a seat for a merry-go-round ride. Pole is still connected to the object. The object is capable of moving short distances at high speeds. It can be quite dangerous when blank its path. The object is currently bound by blank. Background. The object was discovered at the site of an abandoned amusement park. Local blank reported that the rides would move on their own, and that they would be chased out. When these rumors reached the Bureau, see America Overnight episode 235, agents were dispatched to investigate. 3 local blank were found dead at the scene. The object attacked agent blank by blank. Agents invoked Formula C.5 to blank the object long enough to blank. It'd be really nice if at some point, as our clearance level goes up, holy shit, how amazing would that be? As our clearance went up, the redactions would go away. That would be really cool. Tomasi Willow AWE outcome. Federal Bureau of Control, RE Information Campaign, summary of Willow Awe. National news sites have begun publishing the story of the polar bear attack on the Alaskan town. You all know I don't like to boast, but claiming that the family was killed by migrating polar bears desperate for food because their ecosystem is being ruined by global warming was a stroke of genius. Using current ecological concerns makes the public much less likely to blank. So, another AWE behind us, and the public is none the wiser. Well done, everyone. It was a strong campaign and perfectly executed. This doesn't mean we can stop monitoring blank blank and blank for any off-message opinions, but it's looking like we're in the clear. Tomasi out. Travel costs. So, week 83 report. Visited the following Nevada accommodations: Desert Sun Inn, Big Sky Motel, Starlight Motel, In and Out, Aztec Court, Sleep E Bear, Motel Silver Spurs Ranch, El Gato Blanco Inn, A+ Lodge. Expenditures, accommodation $831, blah 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 blah. I do wonder if a motel called the Ocean View is going to be found in a landlocked state, but hey, I guess I'm not paid to think, right? For the record, I again request that you give us a budget to get 2 rooms each night. Agent Rowley and myself are very tired of sleeping in the same room. See you on the road, Agent L. Hines. The boys in research said performing rituals may help identify any places of power. Drinking those little whiskeys is my ritual. So effectively, these guys are driving from
Location to location.
Yeah, location to location, trying to find the hotel that you reach the hotline through. Dead letter approval. Let's see. FBC. Greetings, Director Trench. I'd like to thank you for approving my request for Dead Letters Archive. Cataloging the Bureau's collection of delinquent mail will provide an extremely handy database the research teams can use to search for any connections or related topics found among the letters. Aside from the more functional purposes, the archive will allow us to preserve these windows into authentic human encounters with the paranatural world. The letters came to us from various places and times, gathered by the Postal Service as undeliverable. The Bureau is the perfect home for them. I realize not all letters contain accounts of genuine paranatural events, but even the erroneous ones allow us insight into how the unknown is perceived by real people. Of course, I will first compile a system to allow us to analyze the letters for any information or suspected connections to AWEs and other altered materials. So thank you again. Can't wait to delve into my dead letters.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, the cross-section of the brain.
You had to do that for one of your first jobs in school.
Yep. Captive audience. Research the hypnosis lab. Use of pattern and groupthink.
Groupthink. Utilization of paranatural elements. Rethinking groupthink. Summary. This study extends the works of Irving Janis, okay, Robert Barron, and others by proposing strong causal links between groupthink and the passive or active use of telepathy. To prove these connections, the parapsychology department carried out variations of Solomon Asch's original conformity experiments using a telepathic individual as the subject. See experiments blankety blank for details. Extensive qualitative and quantitative data resulting from these experiments was used to identify telepathic interference within the group. Further empirical findings suggest measures can be taken to safeguard against telepathic influence in behaviors by engaging in blankety blank blank blank. Rather boldly, this paper stands to revolutionize decades of groupthink theory and provide new directions for further experimentation on the mind, including the manipulation of blankety blank and blank blank.
Okay, so the place we want to go to is actually down here.
There are a number of... Those are desks, but there's also platforms on the desks, and they hook up people's... They have the people in chairs, and they hook up their brains.
Yeah, it looks like it.
To these.
So they had people in those, and they were the ones floating after me.
Yes. Ah.
I see it. Another object of power? They're just standing there, mesmerized by
it.
Probably a lesser version of it.
Oh. See? Look at that. It's the lock. Are you gonna use it, the one over on there on the wall?
Trying.
So you just need to fill the top and the sides. There you go.
Kind of fumbled my way through that one, but that's okay.
What did it open?
Open the door to the actual thing. I believe.
They're friendly for the time being, but... for
Yeah,
how
so
long?
I'm wondering if I get a power that lets me mind control things.
Please state your name for the record. Paul Warren, astronaut, first class. And you are aware that exposure to the astral plane can result in death, disability, personal injury, corporeal untangling, cognitive collapse, loss of ego, and partial to full dementia?
Yeah.
I am. And you acknowledge that your use of the astral conduit, aka the X-ray Lightbox, is purely voluntary?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Your suit is good?
Yeah.
Okay, you're all set. Open the door for Mr. Warren, please.
Ah,
Is
the
that it?
Yeah, the X-ray light box.
So it's just X-rays. Huh.
Yep.
I would have expected it to actually be one of those things that we kept seeing. The perpetual motion. Use C's to complete the astral plane challenge.
Cold enemies are immune. Find another way to defeat them. Oh, maybe you can grab onto them.
Oh, enemies at low health can be seized.
Ah, I see. You're taking them over. Awesome.
Oh, are they just
You're right about the mind
perpetually-
control.
Yeah. So it looks like time slows while this is going on.
So you'll use them to take down the gold enemies.
Yeah, so it looks like I get to just get as many of these as I want, and they go back up to full health when I do this as well. Well, that's gonna be fun.
So the X-ray is now bound and validated.
Yep.
So how many objects have you bound to yourself now?
Their brains were fried when I took over the object.
I have the gun,
The phone.
the phone, the horse,
The Lightbox.
the Lightbox,
The disc.
and the disc. There we go.
That's quite a number.
That's gonna be a lot by the time we're done. And we're not even done yet. Let's see. I actually want to test something while we're here.
Mhm.
Let's do fast travel. We want to go back to maintenance. Just gonna go to the power plant. You know that side room that I couldn't get into? I think I can get into it now.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know how I shot those red things to get through the doorway on the research level earlier?
Yes.
I think that's how I was supposed to get into that one training course. But I didn't know until I had tested that.
Mm-hmm. I just don't recall the red stuff appearing elsewhere. Is that the case? Because I thought it was organic and then frozen stuff around here.
No, the red stuff is just stuff left by the hiss.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. We are just going to Mordor this. Ow.
When does your control of them break?
I am unsure.
Because sometimes it's a time limit, sometimes it's until death, sometimes it's until all other enemies are destroyed, at which point...
I wish it actually gave me like a proper overview.
Whoa. Something blew up?
Guess so. I'm not in combat anymore, I don't think.
Something within those boxes, definitely. Oh, this. This is what you meant. You're right. It is the red stuff.
Because I was wondering about this. It seemed weird. Because there didn't seem like a good reason for it to be locked off like this.
Mm-hmm. Case file. What is this? Field training. Actor complaint. I'd like to file a formal complaint. RE, the unauthorized use of my voice in a state of quality that I did not agree on. The fact that they were planning to use material from what I thought was a rehearsal was not communicated to me at all. Had it been, I would have disallowed the use of those recordings. I want the use of the Ranger Field Training Course recorded messages to halt immediately. I will not stand for this humiliation among my peers. I will go to HR with this if necessary. Signed, Randall Pulaski. Oh, did they just have him try out for a role and then they just used the recordings that they made of his voice to make the training demo? Even though it wasn't up to his exacting standards?
Mm-hmm.
There was something on the desk back there. Or the chair. I think. Oh no, it was just an open briefcase.
Yep.
I always think it's a file.
So I just read this. Welcome to the Ranger Field Training Course. The course must be completed in the specified amount of time. When you're ready to start, press the button. Is that all, or?
I always did love obstacle
Get ready,
courses.
Ranger. Course starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Oh.
The other door. Hit it?
45 seconds remaining.
Oh.
You weren't hitting the target. There we go. Oh, get that in there.
30 seconds remaining.
Whoa. Oh, that's not good.
Seconds remaining.
Ah, you can't jump that.
5 seconds remaining. Course failed.
Oh.
Try again, Ranger.
Yeah.
You probably could have sprinted that and would have been fine, but why were you carrying the second?
I needed a power
You
thing,
needed another
maybe?
power cube?
I'm not sure.
It didn't look like you needed another one.
I mean, screwing up with the door just threw me off to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready, Ranger. Course starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
That and the targets. There you go.
$60 seconds remaining.
Oh yeah, there is a second one.
30 seconds remaining.
Can you get across?
15 seconds remaining.
Come on. This should be it.
5 seconds remaining. Course complete. Congratulations, Ranger.
Guessing this isn't usually part of the course.
Another entity you have to destroy?
It's because you need to hit it harder to break that shield.
Oh, throw things at it then. There he goes. Oh, it's the safe.
Oh, it's the safe. We heard about this.
You get the defensive one. Can you make a barrier around yourself with junk now?
Very possibly, yeah.
Oh, hold Q to shield. Yeah, it is a shield of junk. I wonder if you can throw it at people after you've used it. Oh. But these are gold enemies, aren't they?
It took some damage.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not an impregnable one. There are tons of gaps. It's random chance whether or not a bullet strikes one of those pieces or you.
Not seeing more, so I think we're good.
Yep, maybe when you reach the top.
Yeah, it's probably all the way up here.
Mm-hmm.
To absorb Trash Man's ability. Oh boy.
Good defense. Uh-oh.
Good time to have a shield.
Can you throw it at them, though? I want to see.
Nope.
No? It'd be really cool if you picked all that up and then threw it at them.
But it's what it is good for is clearing distance.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I always dislike that when Your reticle is pointing at the target, but your character's gun is just a little bit off to the left. So you end up hitting a wall.
Yeah. There we go. Usually you just have to clonk those guys and you're good to go. Am I good? I think I'm good. Alright. Oh, that's another object to just chuck onto the list. I'm sure there's more of these. Let's see.
What's one of your favorite childhood objects or toys that you always found fascinating?
Interesting question. Go back to the research sector for a bit. Let me think about that. So, things that I had a stuffed dog. A Cocker Spaniel that I loved to death. Same thing with a stuffed penguin. Not like a stuffed animal. Not a taxidermy.
I know. I think I've seen the penguin.
Yeah. Yeah, the penguin was on a bookshelf. I think the Cocker Spaniel was upstairs. In, like, the attic. Which, you know, at some point...
So what would the stuffed animals bestow upon you? As a power or ability?
Probably sleep.
For the purposes of a game like this, though, what power? Would they heal you? No.
No, like you could put enemies to sleep.
Oh, you put enemies to sleep. I see. That'd be interesting. I'm trying to think of what one for me would be. Well, it's rather interesting that a phone line or a music device. When I was young, I really liked the old rotary phone that my mom had up in her room, and I would just spin the dials a lot. But then there was also the record player that we had. I absolutely love the record player. I really like instruments. Instruments are always fascinating contraptions to me. Pianos.
I was hoping I could mind control that guy. Doesn't seem to be in the cards.
So I don't know if it would be one of those things where a sonic blast, or maybe if it's something like a record, being able to turn back time a little bit, or play things and fast forward. I know that you're not supposed to do it, and I would do it very, very rarely, but with records, there was the 33 or the 45 settings for the most part. And 45 records are much smaller records. And I believe they play at a faster speed. And then 33, maybe it's like rotations per minute or something. I don't know how, maybe that's how it works. But then the 33s are larger. They're probably the standard size, if you will. And if you chose the alternate speed on one disc or the other, or record, you would have go very slow. Or you could have it sound like the Chipmunks. It was hilarious. I wonder if that's how they actually achieved the voices for the Alvin and the Chipmunks characters back in the day.
Possibly. I remember finding something like that. I had an old tech class and we could screw around with that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we were playing around, and yeah, we were doing that non-stop.
So this is from a Hubert to Carla. Hi, Carla. Does it strike you as odd that Darling insists on having us appear in these bizarre videos of his? I mean, we just stand there. Doesn't even let us have lines or anything. Oh, this is probably the man and the lady that were awkwardly standing in that one episode. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. Beats a day in the lab. Plus, it's always great to work with you. Oh yeah, I finished the comparative analysis on the 2 black rock samples you sent. The prism, or whatever you called it. I filed them in the usual place, under C for Carla. A handy mnemonic device, right? Anyway, Let me know if there's something you want to discuss about the data. I'll gladly explain. Maybe we could chat over it, over some drinks, dinner maybe. Oh, he definitely wants a date. I can't remember the last time I had a good steak. Maybe we could go together after work sometime. I'm free tomorrow. All the very best. Yeah, that's definitely an awkward... Sorry for fumbling at the end of that, but...
It's okay.
Definitely... Oh, what's that?
Video.
Or a radio?
Yeah, it's just a radio.
What's the point of turning them on unless they were collectible?
I don't know. I figure it might have some kind of weird effect, or it might not.
If you just happen to turn them on when everything gets taken over by the hiss later, all the places that you've turned the radio on end up being safe zones. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. You know, that would have been a cool mechanic. This is a cool hallway. He's actually using the radios to
Wait a minute.
combat the hiss.
Were those really urinals? Also, what's up with this place? Oh, I see.
These? Yeah, these are urinals.
But they're so low to the ground.
I don't... No, this is standard. There's a couple of different types. Yeah.
In movies and stuff, I always saw them as almost, I wouldn't necessarily say sink height. They'd have to be a little bit lower than sink height.
They're definitely, I would say, like, knee or mid-thigh high. I don't know. I mean, honestly, these
then
sinks...
it has so much longer to fall. And it would splash
The point
more.
is, these are usable for people of any height, including kids.
Ah, that's true.
Yeah. I don't actually know which has more splashback, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't like using urinals, generally. I try not to pee when I'm out at all.
I remember my earliest memory of seeing what a urinal was like was in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, when he was trying to find old NFL players and see if they had the special
and he was
ring.
Peeking.
Yeah, so he was actually, he was in a bathroom at a urinal next to, I assume, I don't know if they actually got some real NFL players. I mean, they had Dan Marino in that film, but he looked over at a guy and he was looking at his hands to find the ring to see if the ring had a missing stone. So the guy obviously thought he was looking a little too intently at you-know-what and punched him in the face. He ended up counting how many gemstones there probably were in the ring by counting the indentations on his head, but that was hilarious. In any case, utilization of paranatural elements, thresholds, summary. Thresholds have always been sources of great inspiration and great challenge. When a new threshold manifests in the oldest house by blankety blank, we never know what new discoveries it will provide to the Bureau. But we must always seize these opportunities. This report will examine the process of distinguishing recent threshold effects based on their utilitarian possibilities. The quarry brought black rock, one of our most invaluable discoveries. But if the mold has any scientific value, it's been difficult to find due to lengths that we must go to in fighting back the particularly prolific plant. These are very distinct cases of worth and worth comparing, as other studies offer vastly different dangers and rewards. Oh, their study offers dangers and rewards. Wander?
Yep.
What's going on? So that's another term about the black rock and the plants. Is that what this is? Invading?
Maybe. Yeah, because this is doing something weird.
Wait, what's that there on the wall? Left, right.
That?
Oh, it's just a button.
Yeah, I don't
It looks like it's supposed to be the elevator, but you need to cleanse the area before the elevator will likely be able to come up.
Probably, yeah. Did I go in here?
Lab?
Aha.
Oh.
I'm just in exploration mode at this point.